What's up guys, it's LuckyBoy here, and today something bad unfortunately has happened here early in the week. I accidentally transferred my PCO account to PC Live, which means my old account is no longer, I'm no longer able to log into it. So now I'm trying to begin to get everything from scratch now, and that is just so miserable when it happens, obviously. So I'm a little bit down with it because of it, that I did the mistake. It's purely my mistake that I did not read through the whole pop-ups that happened, because I thought you had the option after a tutorial, but apparently it was not. So that's completely my fault that it happened. So now I'm trying to get everything from scratch, so I don't even know if it's actually gonna come up with oncoming videos until it gets stuff, obviously. So right now we're gonna do a tier list, which I think could also be really fun to look into the future of the meta, obviously, because you guys seems to like the last tier list I made, so why not just make another one? So now this tier list is extremely early with still Tempest out, obviously, so it's gonna be really interesting for sure. And the whole way I'm gonna rate all this is actually to beat Lugia as BDIF. That's like the whole concept here. The whole concept of it is obviously just to beat Lugia, and that's pretty much how I'm gonna rate the meta actually, and the way I see it. So that's how we're gonna do it in this tier list actually. So Lugia is gonna be the only one in this spot of BDIF, unfortunately. So nothing else, like no Palkia or anything like that. So that's not gonna happen. So that's gonna be really interesting to the way it's gonna be rated, obviously. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. So can something beat Lugia or not? So let's just take it from start to finish, I guess. So Richie Drago, personally tier 3, maybe not good. I'm not too sure. It has definitely really good options, and it can technically one-shot a Lugia. Maybe not through weak energy, but with George Spell it's possible, because you can copy Giratina V-Star's attack. So that's something you have to consider that you can actually do in this deck. So it is definitely possible, but it's just consistency sometimes might be the issue with the deck. So I kind of see it struggle a little bit, but it definitely has the option to actually beat Lugia through a lot of options. But I think the Volatile maybe makes it difficult, but around it is still pretty decent, I will say. And I will rate this deck, I will rate Gudra Arceus in tier 3. Probably the highest of tier 3, honestly. Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what I feel like it. I feel like this is like reasonable. I think maybe Gudra Arceus is gonna be the highest tier 3, because with Lugia out, I think it's gonna be even more difficult to actually do anything in this meta as a tank deck now, because Lugia hit you so freaking hard you can't even survive it almost, and the fact that I also have access to Ray and Charizard pretty consistently to set it up, and also amazing Ray Volatile, which instantly one-shot anything in the active, and Arceus decks just can't really deal with a Lugia a Pokemon that does 208 plus damage turn 2, which Lugia is absurdly consistent to do with the amount of access it has to its V-Star, and 2 Arceus into discard pile is just ridiculously how fast you can do that. So I can definitely see this deck struggle a lot against Lugia, so that's why it's so down here. Arceus Inteleon, not good. I hate to see it. I hate to say it, honestly. Like, I really, really, really like Arceus Inteleon. It's one of my personal favorite decks of all time. Unfortunately, I think it's just so bad against Lugia. So, and a lot of the tank decks might be also a problem for it. Duraludon was fine against Duraludon, but now the tank decks are more tanky than Duraludon, so that's the problem. Palkia easily tier 1. I think probably Palkia has the best, actually is actually the best one to actually deal with Lugia. There are obviously a lot of decks that maybe can do it as just consistent as Palkia, but I just think Palkia is just more consistent, because again, Palkia doesn't gain anything for the set, but let's just be real about one thing. Palkia is still probably the strongest deck in the form. If Lugia was not as hyped and probably would think it's the best deck, it might actually, Palkia might still be the best deck in format. That's how powerful Palkia is. So Palkia definitely has probably the highest chance against Lugia because it's Palkia. Let's just be real about that. Reggie, I'm gonna put this in tier 2, honestly. I think, okay, so to be honest, Reggie seems pretty strong against Lugia, and probably, and some people think it's stronger. I kind of disagree with it a little bit because I don't think Reggie still has consistency problems, and Lugia attacks so easily against Reggie anyway, so I don't even think it's possible, honestly. So a lot of problems with it. Now, Arceus Beedrill, this is a fun one. I am a little bit tempted to put in tier 2. But I'm actually gonna put it in the highest tier 3. Why is that? Well, Beedrill instantly one-shots any Pokemon with special energy on it in the active spot. What that means is, first of all, you're instantly one-shotting a Lugia. Plus, you're having a one-prizer in play, so you can potentially remove a lot of special energies from your opponent. Which means most of the powerful energies will actually be gone after that. Which is just absurd to me. That you have a card that can easily do that. And you can do it multiple times when you're combined with Inteleon as well. And I actually see more variety with the Beedrill because it actually is looking pretty good actually in the future. Which I really like it for. And I've always been enjoying playing with Beedrill, Arceus, Inteleon. So that's always a nice one. Blissey, not good. Personally, I don't really like it, and I never seen it being good, but right now it's even worse than it already looked like. Like, it's even worse now, because Lugia is just literally impossible to beat. Because, first of all, Miltank doesn't help, because you can go into one-price attackers, because I already have Miltank out, so it's already a problem. Plus, you're hitting so hard that Blissey can't even survive, even with Cable Toughness on, so not gonna happen. Turtles, also bad. I don't even. People always saying it turns getting back. I'm like, no, turns is never coming back. It turns is too slow. It's too fragile, and Path to the Peak is it's just a big struggle for the deck, and that's like such a big issue with it. Dialga, I'm not too sure with Dialga personally, so I am maybe gonna put it into tier 3. Like, it's definitely still not good, obviously, but it's just when you get the turn 2 Star Chrono off, you can disrupt your opponent so freaking hard. It's really hard to come back from. Like, you can potentially take 4 prizes in 1 turn, or technically 2 turns, because you use Star Chrono to skip a turn from your opponent, and then you take another knockout, while attaching a lot of energies as well. And with Mirage Gate as well in the Lost Zone engine, it's actually more consistent to do than it was before, so I actually like Dialga a little bit still. It's just, how consistent is it to do? That's like the question, because it's still pretty strong for sure. I definitely have a little bit of hope for it, but not as I think. Now here comes the fun part. You guys are gonna disagree with me so much about this next choice I'm gonna make with Duraludon. Like, I know that a lot of people are saying Duraludon is gonna come back and it's gonna do so well. And because Lugia only plays special energies. But let me just show you one thing. I personally, with Duraludon, think it's not good. I'm not even trying to meme or anything. I'm serious. I don't even think Duraludon is a good play. I think it's actually bad as well. I actually still think Goodra is better than Duraludon. For a particular reason. So, yeah. Lugia, fine. You're fine against Lugia. You can be okay against Lugia with Duraludon. But there's 2 major problems with it. First off, how are you gonna get the VMAX out consistently? First of all, how are you getting the VMAX out without using Single Strike Mustard combo? Because if you're trying to do that, it's probably gonna bust up the V. You need 2 Vs down to even tank a hit. Plus, you need as well Lugia. Oh, not Lugia. Arceus. Then you also need Arceus to even survive as well against Lugia, which is not, first of all, not gonna happen. Because first of all, they can charge spells, 2 Jammer, a lot of powerful energies. You can't even use Big Jammer on you. So, you can't even use Big Jammer, that's not enough. And the last problem here, and then they can just, because if they can just boss up a Duraludon V, KO Arceus, they can just go into a Volatile. After that, if it was already set up a Duraludon with a perfect setup hand, it doesn't matter. If Volatile just instantly one-shot you unless you're playing Big Parasol, it doesn't matter. So, I don't see a reason why you should do it. And here comes the second reason why I actually think it's such a bad play. Path to the Peak. Okay, so to say it like it is, my personal build of Lugia at this point is actually playing a heavy Path to the Peak count, mostly just to beat the mirror match and to also slow down Palkia, because Palkia can actually be really tough sometimes, because Palkia is Palkia first of all, and against a lot of other decks as well. Like, just being a heavily Path to the Peak deck as well with heavy mining count has always been really strong with certain decks, and especially if we can set up, it's like playing Arceus and Teleon, just a little bit feels more consistent and don't have too much and don't use too much space for the Intellion engine. So just and that heavy count deals with all these tank decks, and even decks are trying to counter it like Duraludon. And Duraludon sucks getting hit by Amani and Path. It's like you can hit. It's like you're playing Mew and get hit by it, but it's even worse of it because you don't have a backup draw engine. You only have one line of play and that's it, and then you're done. So I actually think Duraludon is worse when it looks like so, and because Lugia has inbuilt out to literally everything you're trying to do. So it doesn't matter how much even though you go first or second, it doesn't matter. You're too slow for it. Lugia is too fast. I'm sorry guys, but this deck is not good. It's not getting, I think this is just something, this is people saying it's gonna get back. Sorry, but people are trolling. It's not gonna happen. This deck is so freaking bad, it's getting even worse now than people think. So don't listen to people. So don't listen to people who are saying it's back. It's not. It will not come back. It will fail so freaking hard. You're gonna disappointed by playing it. Just saying. Purely my opinion, but you can decide what you want, obviously. Pikachu, not good. It's getting even worse now with Lugia because Lugia is too freaking hard for this deck to even help. I mean, you can maybe hope the Path to the Peak works, but again, they're playing Pokeball, so it doesn't really matter for the most part, so it's just really hard to do. Or if I can also play another Stadium again instead of Path to the Peak, but still. Yeah, it's really scary to actually do against. Also, again, heavy money count as well. Not good. Mew, easily tier 1. I still think Mew is gonna be tier 1. It's actually getting even better now with the 4 Seal Stone. That gives us a V-Star power that you can search your deck for any card, which is basically a half star buff. That doesn't, and by the way, it's not affected by Path to the Peak. Funny thing actually. I still don't know why it doesn't do that. So, but apparently that works. So you can search your Path to the Peak out, or you can search any of your combo pieces, and we might actually see an uptake of the Merletta build as we played back in the day with Mew before the TT version took over. So I can definitely see that happen, obviously. So that sounds pretty fun. Kyurem, easily tier 2. I will still not say it's tier 1. It's never gonna be tier 1. It has a couple problems with hand disruption and Path to the Peak, and sometimes if it doesn't get a good turn 1, it's not gonna go super well, obviously. So I don't really see too much of it. Lost Box, I'm a little bit unsure where to put this, honestly. I mean, Lost Box seems pretty good against Lugia. Or okay. But it's just, I'm a little bit unsure. I actually think I'm gonna put it at the highest tier 2, honestly. I mean, too easily and no good. It's not good. And also these two. First of all, I don't know what the role does, but I think it's bad. Spear, not good. Okay, so Sablezard. I think it's actually pretty strong against Lugia. First of all, it doesn't get affected by V-Guard energy, so that's already pretty. So that's already a good sign. I think just the one price matchup. If they get one price trade so easily, plus the heavy mining count can also maybe be a problem. I'm actually expecting Lugia to play a heavy mining count, which is gonna hurt so many of those combo decks. So, And Lugia is consistent enough to actually be fine with it, so I don't know. I'm not too sure about it. I think Sablezard can struggle against Lugia, but I'm not too sure about it. Giratina, Arceus, tier 3. Could maybe put it here in the same slot as not good, but like it's okay. Like it can hit the numbers with Giratina and has consistency with Arceus, so but I don't know. Now this is another thing. I'm gonna put Giratina tier 1. I don't care what anyone says if it's gonna be bad against Lugia. I don't think it's actually as bad as against Lugia as people think. I think Giratina is still pretty strong. Yeah, V-Guide is annoying, but you have to remember Giratina does begin to actually play Temple Sinnoh, or they can just tag, you know, Choice Bell. But I can definitely see it struggle if they get money too many times, obviously, and it's really hard to sometimes actually come into the game because you're trying to build a hand. So I'm actually putting the lowest end of tier 1, which makes sense for me. If it's not like gonna be I don't think it's tier 2. I still think it's tier 1. Like it's still okay against Lugia. It's just we just have to find out the matchup we just have to find out the matchup, obviously. I don't really believe that it's gonna be tier 2. I don't really see that happens, honestly. I don't think it has a bad matchup against Lugia. We just have to find out, obviously. Urshifu. Yeah, we're gonna have an Urshifu tier. Like, Urshifu should have his own tier, in my opinion. I just love Urshifu that much. And higher than Lugia, obviously. Now I'm memeing, obviously. If I personally should say something, I'll probably put in tier 3. Honestly, Urshifu doesn't seem too bad, honestly. Honestly, Urshifu doesn't look too bad. It doesn't really look too bad, actually. Like, it can deal with the Arceus pretty easily, actually, and set up for Yoga Loop after a Rapid Flow. You can technically get KO by Yveltal, so... But I still think it's far. I still think Urshifu can actually... It's funny, Urshifu has such a good matchup spread, but it's just the consistency sometimes when it hits it. Like it's get hit by a couple times. That's just annoying sometimes. And I love Urshifu. I'm just a big Urshifu fan, okay? It does get powered by Forest Seal Stone and not the Earth and Seal Stone, which some people say it is, but if that's wrong, don't believe them. I'm just saying it's wrong. It's not good, so just saying. Vagavolt, I was put in the lowest end of tier 2. It's actually looking pretty insane with the Regieleki VMAX, but it does boost his damage by a lot, first of all. So, yeah, can really see it be a pretty decent one. And the upcoming also hits Lugia for weakness, but they can just play Dunsparce if you don't have a weakness, but you do item lock them, which can sometimes be relevant. I will say that. Item lock is not too terrible. So, also in general in the meta right now, it's actually pretty strong. Honestly, you can sometimes auto-win with it. Plus the damage buff for the Regieleki VMAX. It's just ridiculously high you're getting damage on. It's just absurd. Zoroark. Lowest than tier 2, honestly. I think it's not better than Vagavolt, personally. It does... Okay, so personally, to say it like it is, I still think it's like not the greatest deck. It does maybe... I think it's a 50-50 matchup with the Lugia, probably. Like, they're back and forth with each other, but Lugia can just go in with Raikou and double snipe, double Gengar, or something that has 120 HP left on the bench. Because Zoroark does need to damage their bench. So Raikou might sniping, or Charizard can also come up and just wreck them entirely. So a lot of things can go wrong in the matchup, and they can Lugia can price trade really easily against them. So that's actually the way I can see it. So it might actually struggle with because of it. But I guess that's just gonna be it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's tier list, guys. So just take a screenshot if you want to actually have some sort of show off what you actually think is gonna be good or not. So Or you're like, or you're just like, oh, why is this guy putting Duraludon so low here? It doesn't make sense. Just saying, Duraludon's bad. Everyone thinks it's good. It's not. So, just saying. But anyway, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel already, turn on the bell on, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.